Ace versus Dabi. Older brother versus older brother. Fire versus fire. You know why it's here. You know how it's going to work. That's how it works, right? Anyway, let's just get into it. So for Ace should scale to the highest of the high for like kind of the commander class. That puts him at around 527 gigatons. Then for speed, 3.3 times the speed of light. Not that hard. It's just One Piece. One Piece is consistent with light speed scaling. Honestly, so is like 90% of anime if you really look down into it. And even just eventually at one point in time, if you dodge a laser, just be ready. Some guy on the internet is going to argue that you're light speed. I am that guy, so welcome. Next, we're moving on to Dabi. We'll break down how abilities interact later on, right? For Dabi, he should scale to 100% Midoriya in attack potency. Not the 100% Midoriya with adrenaline, right? Because that dude's insane. And also not gear shift. I feel like I shouldn't need to explain why gear shift makes him a little bit stronger. But he should scale to, think like a movie 4, 100% Midoriya. So definitely strong, definitely powerful, but not as strong. This puts him at around 1.5 exatons of TNT. So yeah, notable. Next is speed. And speed is weird. So once again, scaling to how close are you to Midoriya? See, because 100% Midoriya is 24 times the speed of light, and Midoriya at 5% was able to move at 1.2 times the speed of light, right? So the question then becomes, how close is he to what? Is he closer to 5% Midoriya in combat speed, or is he closer to 100%? Depends. As far as travel speed and just movement in combat, he's probably closer to a Midoriya at 5%, so probably like a 1 to 2%, not percent, but 1 to 2 times the speed of light, right? However, you could make the argument he's scaling to that 100% Midoriya running in. I don't believe that, and honestly, I don't think most people would make that argument, but if you do, it's there. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And we won't really be using it for this instance. We'll just be going with the more conservative ends of 1.2 times the speed of light, right? Now, let's move on to just how they interact. So, simply put, Ace is in the gigatons, and Dabi's in the exatons. And, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's not actually it. So, with Dabi, he does not have the durability to match his attack potency. However, his attack potency is stated to be some of the strongest in the verse, right? That's not a crazy thought. That's not a crazy experiment. That's not a crazy whatever, right? But, at the same time, fire burn if fire is stronger than other fire. And we even see that. Ace was weaker than Akainu, and it burned not as hot compared to Akainu. So what happened? He got burned and overwhelmed. Am I saying Dabi is stronger than it? No. But at the same time, blue fire is naturally hotter than red fire, right? And we've never seen Ace use blue fire. So it should naturally burn hotter. And when it comes down to attack potency, unironically, Dabi is closer to blowing up a planet than Ace is to beating Dabi in a firefight. Like, unironically. Exatons are so much higher than gigatons. It's not even... And I know most people don't have a context for that, but to say that Dabi is closer to... Like, Dabi is closer to vaporizing all of Africa in one shot than Ace is to, like, overwhelming Dabi's, like, candle sparks, dog. Like, that's just how the scaling goes. But, at the same time, Ace is going to be moving faster. So, Ace is around 2, maybe 3. Technically, it's 2.75 times faster, to be exact. But, so, yeah. Simply put, he's faster, he's moving faster, he's dodging, weaving, and Ace's durability actually scales to his attack potency, which is something Dabi most likely does not. However, if Ace's attacks use fire, Dabi can most likely burn the fire with his own fire. And since he basically secretes it from his entire body, he should be able to put up proper countermeasures against Ace. And on top of that, while Ace does probably have better stamina, considering he fought Jinbei for 3 days with no breaks, and that is really impressive, at the end of the day, that also requires Ace to be level-headed, which is something he's not. He is repeatedly called brash, arrogant, aggressive in the story. And while he's good compared to Luffy, that's also comparing him to Luffy, who broke into a government facility because he wanted food. I'm sorry, the bar's in hell, so being a little bit above it isn't exactly a feat. You're still in the ground. Ironically enough, you're 6 feet in the ground in this instance. But yeah, on top of that, I can just make the argument that since Dabi is so much stronger and the flames would just burn Ace, he'd just cremate Ace. He would just go whoop and burn him alive. And Ace would turn into fire and still get burned alive. So yeah, video over. Like and subscribe, I guess. I don't know. As you can tell, I'm being very goofy this episode because I'm talking about a donut and a guy who made up his backstory, so people feel bad for him. Anyway, so yeah, that's all for now, folks. Goodbye.